Have you ever wondered how our Earth came into existence? It's a question that sparks curiosity, isn't it? Like a grand cosmic puzzle, our planet's birth and subsequent evolution is a mind-boggling journey that spans billions of years. From a swirling cloud of cosmic dust and gas to the vibrant, life-sustaining world we know today. It's an epic tale of transformation, teeming with cataclysms and serendipitous events that shaped our home. Today, we delve into the fascinating chronicles of Earth's evolution. So, where does the story of our Earth begin? Well, let's turn back the cosmic clock, all the way to roughly 4.5 billion years ago. The universe was a swirling maelstrom of dust and gas, a vast, formless expanse that scientists refer to as the solar nebula. Now picture this nebula as a cosmic soup, filled with all the ingredients necessary to cook up a planet. Gravity, that ever-present force, began to pull together specks of dust and gas, creating a swirling disk of material. The center of this disk became denser and hotter, eventually forming the sun. The outer edges, however, were a different story. Here, particles began to stick together, forming larger clumps that collided and coalesced into what we call planetesimals. Over time, these planetesimals gathered more and more material, growing larger and larger until eventually, one of them became our home, the Earth. But the Earth's early years were anything but peaceful. It was a time known as the period of heavy bombardment, when the young planet was relentlessly pelted by asteroids and comets. These impacts caused the Earth to heat up, melting the surface into a molten state. Now, one of these collisions was unlike any other. A Mars-sized body in a violent encounter collided with Earth. The impact was so immense that it launched a portion of the Earth's crust into space. This debris eventually came together and formed our moon, forever tethered to us by gravity. And so, in the midst of chaos and destruction, our Earth and its moon were born. This marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would lead to the Earth we know today. From a fiery, molten rock to a vibrant blue planet teeming with life, Earth's story is a testament to the power of time, change, and the laws of nature. This marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey that would lead to the Earth we know today. Imagine a world of molten lava with no life and no water. That was Earth during the Hadean Eon. Picture a fiery, hostile environment, an inferno that raged for millions of years. This was the Hadean Eon, the first chapter in Earth's geological story, named after Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld. The Earth was a newborn, its surface a seething cauldron of molten rock. The heat was intense, the landscape barren and alien, a world in the throes of its fiery birth. But change was on the horizon, a transformation that would lay the foundations for all life. As millions of years passed, the Earth began to cool. Its molten surface hardened, forming a thin, fragile crust. This was the Earth's first skin, the inaugural landmass on which future continents would be built. But this land was not yet the fertile cradle we know today. It was lifeless and bleak, a desolate wasteland under a dark, brooding sky. Yet even in this harsh environment, the seeds of life were being sown. As the Earth cooled, water vapor began to condense in the atmosphere. This was the birth of the Earth's water cycle. Rain began to fall, gentle at first, then more persistent, a deluge that lasted millions of years. This relentless rainfall began to fill the Earth's deepest depressions, creating the first oceans. These oceans were not the clear blue waters we know today. They were murky, clouded with mineral-rich runoff from the land. Yet they were the womb of life, the crucible in which the first simple organisms would eventually evolve. Beneath their roiling surface, the first stirrings of life were beginning. The Hadean Eon was a time of incredible transformation. From a world of fire and rock, the Earth had become a water world. It was a different kind of hostile, a different kind of alien, but it was a world that was ready for life. The stage was set for the first signs of life. With the birth of oceans, Earth was ready for its first inhabitants. So we step into the Archean Eon, a time period stretching from about 4 billion to 2.5 billion years ago. It was during this eon that life, as we understand it, took its first breath. We're not talking about complex organisms yet, oh no. Instead, imagine the simplest of life forms, the single-celled organisms. These were the pioneers, the first residents of our planet. Their home? The vast oceans that had formed during the Hadean Eon. These oceans served as the perfect incubator for life, providing the right conditions for these simple cells to grow and evolve. Now, these weren't just any cells. They were the ancestors of modern bacteria known as prokaryotes. and they had a trick up their sleeve that would change the face of Earth forever: photosynthesis. This process, my friends, was the game changer. Photosynthesis allowed these simple cells to use sunlight to convert water and carbon dioxide into glucose and oxygen. And this oxygen, well, it started to change the atmosphere. This process, known as oxygenation, slowly filled the atmosphere with oxygen, a vital ingredient for the life forms that were yet to come. But the process wasn't quick. It took millions of years for enough oxygen to accumulate. But once it did, it changed everything. Oxygen in the atmosphere allowed for the development of an ozone layer, which protected future life from harmful ultraviolet radiation. It also paved the way for the evolution of more complex oxygen-breathing organisms. So, as you can see, these humble, single-celled organisms were the unsung heroes of life on Earth. Their ability to photosynthesize and release oxygen into the atmosphere set the groundwork for all life that followed. This set the stage for more complex life forms. And as we move forward in time, we'll see how these complex life forms took root, evolved, and eventually led to us, the humans. But that's a tale for another scene. For now, let's marvel at the wonder of these simple cells and their monumental contribution to life as we know it. From the first simple cells to the diverse array of life we see today, the journey has been astonishing. As we move forward in time, we come to the Proterozoic eon, which spanned from 2.5 billion years ago to about 540 million years ago. It was during this eon that life really began to get interesting. Cells began to clump together, forming the first multicellular organisms. These primitive creatures were the precursors to all the complex life forms that would come later. Then, around 540 million years ago, something extraordinary happened. This period, known as the Cambrian explosion, saw a rapid diversification of life. Suddenly, the oceans were teeming with a variety of complex creatures, from trilobites to the first ancestors of modern fish. It was a time of unprecedented biological innovation. The age of dinosaurs, a period that spanned over 160 million years, came next. These magnificent beasts dominated the land, while in the oceans, fish evolved into a myriad of forms and the first mammals began to appear. However, life on Earth has always been a precarious business. Over the course of its history, our planet has witnessed 5 mass extinctions, each wiping out a significant proportion of life. The most famous of these is the extinction that ended the reign of the dinosaurs, paving the way for mammals to take over. Mammals, with their warm-blooded metabolisms and advanced parental care, were well suited to the new world that emerged after the dinosaurs. Over tens of millions of years, they diversified into the many forms we see today, from bats to whales, from mice to elephants. Finally, a mere few million years ago, a branch of these mammals began to walk upright. These were our ancestors, the first humans. Over time, they developed tools, language, and culture, setting us on the path to become the dominant species on the planet. And that brings us to the world as we know it today. The Earth's evolution doesn't stop here. Indeed, our planet is in constant motion, an endless dance of creation and destruction. The same forces that shaped our world billions of years ago continue to mold it today. Plate tectonics, for instance, are ceaselessly at work. Giant chunks of the Earth's crust, known as tectonic plates, drift across the molten mantle, colliding, separating, and grinding against each other. These processes result in the formation of mountains, earthquakes, and even the creation of new landmasses. Erosion, too, plays a significant role. Wind, water, and ice relentlessly wear down the Earth's surface, carving out valleys, creating cliffs, and shaping the landscapes we see around us. It's a gradual process, but over millions of years, the effects are dramatic. Yet we must acknowledge that humans, too, are agents of change. Our actions have significantly altered the Earth's surface and atmosphere. Deforestation, pollution, and climate change are stark reminders of our impact. These changes not only affect us, but all life on Earth. Thus, understanding our planet's history and the natural processes that have shaped it is crucial. It's a key to predicting future changes and addressing the challenges that lie ahead. As we look to the future, we carry with us the legacy of our planet's incredible past. Our Earth is continuously evolving, and so are we. We are products of this planet's history, and its future is, in part, in our hands.